The Barbie movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling is turning the world pink. From dream houses on Airbnb that you can rent, to Barbie-themed home renovation shows on HGTV, to hot pink pop-up coffee shops and smoky pink sauce on a Whopper, this movie is literally everywhere. But the buzz is not just about anything pink, Ryan's bleached hair, or Margot Robbie's feet. Director and writer Greta Gerwig has also been stealing the headlines. So who is she and what are some message for the world through Barbie? Let's take a closer look.
Welcome to Barbie's Dream House. Come on in.
Greta Gerwig was born on August 4, 1983 in Sacramento, California. Despite living in a liberal state, she attended a Roman Catholic high school, of which the ideologies, she said, have stuck with her until today. She actually based her first solo-directed movie, Lady Bird, on her own upbringing.
You remembered.
You're my only daughter.
The film is about a teenager who tries to discover her own identity while attending a Catholic school.
Now, I understand that you went to an all-girls Catholic school?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, like stereotypical, like knee socks and plaid skirts kind of thing?
Yeah.
With the nuns measuring like the length of the skirt and all that kind of stuff?
We had skirt check,
Okay.
yeah.
But despite attending a Catholic school, Gerwig was raised a Unitarian Universalist, a faith that believes in many iterations of God. Our beliefs are diverse and inclusive. We have no shared creed. Our shared covenant, our 7 principles, supports the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Though Unitarianism and Universalism were both liberal Christian traditions, this responsible search has led us to embrace diverse teachings from Eastern and Western religions and philosophies. After an attempt to enter Barnard College in New York City to study musical theater, she ended up acting in several low-budget movies. Her breakout moment was when she was cast in Noah Baumbach's movie Greenberg in 2010, which starred Ben Stiller. Greta started dating Noah a year later. Noah actually co-wrote the Barbie movie with Greta, but we'll get back to that later on. In a 73 questions video by Vogue, Greta shares who her favorite authors are.
Who was someone in history that you found to be really inspiring?
Someone is Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf.
Virginia Woolf? Favorite nonfiction writer?
Robert Sapolsky.
Good job.
Virginia Woolf has written a book called Orlando, My Political Biography, a book about the struggles of trans and binary people, which was published in 1928. Robert Sapolsky is a neuroendocrinology researcher whose beliefs in evolution is not a secret. Despite his Orthodox upbringing, he considers himself an atheist. So now that we've created a bit of a backstory of Greta Gerwig, let's take a closer look at how her upbringing and worldview have shaped the brand new Barbie movie. In the Barbie movie, we find the main Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, and all her Barbie friends live in the perfect world. There's no such thing as death, sickness, sadness, or anything even close to it.
Barbie Land is perfect. So it's really just maintaining the order of perfection. Compliments are absolutely essential.
Director Greta Gerwig even comments on how this idea of the perfect world stems from her Catholic education.
In the movie, it's like when it starts, she's in a world where there's no aging or death or pain or shame or self-consciousness, and then she suddenly becomes self-conscious, which that's a really old story. We know that story, and I think I kind of always go back to those older story forms because I don't know, I went to Catholic school and I resonate with them.
Something that we can see throughout the storyline is the ideologies of a religious movement called Gnosticism. In a nutshell, Gnosticism stemmed from the 2nd century, and it's finding popularity again today. It was an offshoot of early Christianity. The essence of what Gnostics believe is that humans are essentially divine, and their purpose in life is to go higher up in divinity to eventually be equal to God. They do this by achieving enlightenment or knowledge. Who brings them such enlightenment? Jesus Christ, who in Gnosticism is not actually the biblical Jesus, but resembles Satan instead. He is the one who teaches them about this divinity within and how to become like God. In the Bible, it was Satan who wanted to become like God, but never did. Instead, he was cast out of heaven. There's also a story in the Bible of early humans building a tower called the Tower of Babel. They wanted to reach the heavens or reach God to become like him and equal to him. But God confused their languages, which prevented them from being able to continue to communicate about the structure, and they all went their separate ways. In Gnosticism, the creator of the world is seen as evil and the instigator of all sin who wants to keep people trapped. Whereas in the Bible, the creator, who is God, is love. Satan caused sin, not God. You can see that it's basically the Bible story flipped on its head. God and Jesus are considered evil, whereas Satan is considered the savior who brings knowledge of how to become divine. So let's go back to the Barbie movie. The world Barbie lives in is perfect, just like heaven once was perfect. Look at how the Barbie land has perfectly blue water on the inside of the heart and green grass, but on the outside it is dry and the waves look rough, though dull in color. Everybody's always having a good time in this perfect realm.
I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever.
There's even a reference made to how this world in the movie is similar to the world Adam and Eve lived in the Bible.
They have no walls, and that sounds very simple. They have no walls, so everything in Barbie Land is seen at all times. You're not normally...
With Adam and Eve as well, isn't it? It's kind of like the naivety. Yeah. There's no shame.
There's no shame, and there's literally nowhere to hide.
The interesting thing, though, is that everything is made of plastic. It's all superficial and fake. Elements such as water and fire don't exist. It's all a facade. But then, all of a sudden, Barbie starts displaying some imperfections.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
When my heart breaks,
Some things have been happening that might be related.
when my world shakes,
Cold shower, falling off my roof, and my heels are on the ground.
In the Bible, heaven is a perfect place, and so was the earth before Adam and Eve fell into sin. Yet, despite it being perfect, it was never dull or fake or artificial. It was beautiful, and everyone was genuinely happy. But in Gnostic teachings, Adam and Eve sought enlightenment and knowledge from no other than Satan, and it is portrayed as a good thing, as a way to be set free. Eventually, Barbie seems to question why she's having these imperfections and seeks out guidance from gymnast Barbie. Look at how when Barbie walks up these stairs to her mansion, everything still looks colorful, but also disorganized and a bit wild. The mansion looks chaotic, and so does gymnast Barbie. Her hair is a mess, and she's got pencil markings all over her face. Who is this Barbie doll who lives in a perfect world, yet despite portraying beautiful colors also shows imperfection? In the Bible, we see Satan in the Garden of Eden, disguised as a snake. He tempts Eve to take from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which results in sin entering the world and humanity. In the Gnostic writings, however, the snake, Satan, is not actually evil, but a being that brings enlightenment to Adam and Eve. As mentioned before, he wants to help them escape their tyrannical creator and set them free. He is a kind of savior. It is this confusion that we see with this gymnast Barbie. She and her mansion are portrayed as colorful, just like the rest of the perfect Barbie land. Yet something is off. It is all chaotic and disorganized, imperfection in a perfect world. Despite the similarity to perfection, we know from the Bible that Satan is in fact evil, hence the chaos and imperfection that this Barbie also portrays. Listen to what actress Kate McKinnon says about her character, Gymnast Barbie.
Weird Barbie has sort of been relegated, sequestered, quarantined to this space, which is her weird house, which is a sort of freakish amalgam of shapes and colors, obviously, that is the manifestation of who she is in this world, which is like a shaman figure, the keeper of everyone's hidden weirdness. I like to think of myself like that in real life too.
A shaman is an individual in many occult and Eastern religions that will connect a human with the spirit world. Again, the goal of Gnosticism is to connect with the divinity in yourself and rise up and up to higher stages and levels of the spirit world to eventually become like God. This gymnast Barbie offers Margot Robbie's Barbie an opportunity to go into the real world. Barbie has to choose between high heels and Birkenstocks.
What can I do you for?
I just had to come see you about my feet. They're,
Flat.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
Really?
Whoa.
What do I have to do?
You have to go to the real world. You can go back to your regular life and forget any of this ever happened. Or you can know the truth about the universe.
The first one. The high heel.
No. We'll do a redo. You're supposed to want to know. You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe.
You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
The first one. The high heel.
You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
Birkenstocks are shoes known to provide arch support for those with flat feet. Again, Barbie is encouraged to embrace her imperfections and go explore, see what's behind it all. Just like in the Gnostic writings, Satan encourages Adam and Eve to seek enlightenment and knowledge and explore divinity within. It is a way to discover their own identity as gods. Eve in the Bible doesn't immediately accept the fruit. She first questions the snake and says, "Hasn't God said, 'You shall eat of the fruit of every tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat?'" Only after making this statement does she take it and eat the fruit. Barbie does the exact same thing, with wanting the high heels first, but then accepting the Birkenstocks after all.
The first one. The high heel.
No. We'll do a redo. You're supposed to want to know.
Again, a reference to the Gnostic teachings of Enlightenment. Barbie enters the real world with Ken, where she faces everything imperfect, including sexual assault and getting jail time. Just like the Gnostics believe in receiving enlightenment to become a greater divine being within, Barbie seeks to understand what is in the real world to become a quote-unquote better version of herself. As the gymnast Barbie said, you're supposed to want to know. To know something is to have knowledge, which is, again, to be enlightened. Once Barbie leaves Barbie Land, she sings along with the song Closer to Fine by the Indigo Girls. Check out these lyrics. While darkness has a hunger that's insatiable, and lightness has a call that's hard to hear, there's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the less I seek my source for some definitive, the less I seek my source. Closer I am to find, yeah, closer I am to find. The Bible is considered a source of something definitive, a source of truth. The scriptures also encourage followers of Christ to walk on the straight and narrow road and avoid the broad and easy road that leads to destruction. Another interesting observation is that both Barbie and Ken leave the perfect Barbie land, just like both Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden, a place of perfection, due to falling into sin, or, according to the Gnosticism, because they sought enlightenment, which is exactly what the Barbie movie portrays.
I'm coming with you.
Okay. We cannot understand from just the trailer how the movie will end, but there is a trend in Gnostic movies where the storyline pretty much always ends with the perfect world becoming imperfect and everyone embracing imperfection. Think, for example, of the Gnostic movies Pleasantville, the Lego Movie, Wall-E, Smallfoot, and The Truman Show. So how do we know that these were actually director Greta Gerwig's intentions? Well, there's some interesting facts we can pick up left and right. For example, as we mentioned earlier, Greta grew up in a Unitarian Universalist household. This is an amalgamation of all kinds of religious beliefs. Everyone basically believes whatever they want, and there's no real structure. Within all of this, they themselves admit that Gnosticism has made its way into their religious beliefs. The earliest Christians were known as Gnostics. A number of their values and beliefs are yet present in the tenets of Unitarian Universalism. Spiritual threads of the Gnostic writings run through not only Unitarian Universalism, but Neoplatonism and other spiritual wisdom traditions that have tended the flames of these ancient candles of Gnostic wisdom for millennia. Greta has also published a magazine of various religious art. In it, we find a photo of a cosmic tree known as the Axis Mundi. The tree is used in various occult and religious beliefs, including Gnosticism. It represents a connection between heaven and earth, again a reference to the Gnostic beliefs of having divinity within and the goal of reaching a higher and still higher state of such, until they can become like God. On the left of it, we see a photo of an art piece of the egg of the universe. In Gnosticism, it is believed that this egg contained a giant serpent that kept the egg warm. In the Bible, the serpent is a symbol of Satan. She also mentioned her favorite authors, Virginia Woolf and Robert Sapolsky, who have written about transgenderism, atheism, and evolution, themes that we can also see in the Barbie movie. So why is the fact that this movie has Gnostic ideologies a problem? Or the fact that a trans woman plays one of the Barbies and that there's a big push for gender fluidity? It is a problem because there is such a thing in our brain called mirror neurons.
The name mirror neuron comes from the fact that they fire both when you do something and when you watch someone doing something, even if you don't move a muscle. Basically, it's as if they mirror the neural activity of the person actually doing the thing.
In other words, by beholding, we become changed. But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image, from glory to glory, just as by the Spirit of the Lord. If by beholding Jesus, we can become more like Him, it also works the other way around. Science confirms this biblical doctrine. Another interesting observation is that this movie has been banned in Vietnam due to a map in the movie that shows a politically controversial dashed line in the Chinese Sea. Why would a country decide to block an entire movie over a map that is not even that well noticeable in the trailer? It's because they know how it affects the subconscious and how it can lead people to have a political view that is against the country's leaders' ideologies. So, if that's the case, can't a movie like this, with an underlying Gnostic, anti-Christ, and anti-biblical message, and a push for gender fluidity and transgenderism, not have an effect on you too? Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ.